nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Is sounding the alarm after a woman from Waukegan died at Vista Medical Center East. In the overnight hours of January 23rd, patient Chelsea Adolphus made her way onto the roof of the hospital on Sheridan Road. Now, she was not discovered until it was too late and died from hypothermia. Now an investigation is underway into the circumstances surrounding her death. NBC5's Lexi Suter has the story in Waukegan.
For 7 hours, Chelsea Adolphus was stuck in the bitter cold on the roof of Vista Medical Center East. How she was able to get there and why she wasn't discovered earlier is now part of a death investigation.
We want to know exactly what happened from when my sister stepped foot in that facility.
Chelsea's brother Paul is speaking for the first time, demanding justice for his sister, who was admitted to the hospital one day prior to her death.
If there's anyone, any staff that was on board that day in the Vista Hospital, me and my family ask that you guys come front, and so we can get justice for my sister.
Lake County Coroner Jennifer Bannock is also demanding answers. She says she's seriously concerned about safety measures at Vista, and this isn't the first time she sounded the alarm about the lack of care.
American Healthcare Systems and the Vista Medical Leadership Team has been issued a preservation letter by my office ensuring all paper, video, digital, and electronic evidence is not destroyed.
Last year, the state revoked Vista's Trauma 2 designation for 5 weeks. And last month, the hospital furloughed nearly 70 people, some of which were sitters, employees tasked with watching the most vulnerable patients. Bannock said she can't help but wonder if a sitter would have saved Chelsea.
I had warned during a February 2024 press conference that lives were at stake.
And following this press conference, the coroner says she is submitting a letter to the state, to the Illinois Department of Public Health, reiterating her concerns with this medical center. She says she doesn't want to see this ever happen again. In Waukegan, Lexi Suter, NBC5 News.
Thanks to Lexi. We have reached out to Vista Medical Center East for a response to the accusations and the investigation today. So far, we have received no response.
Okay, so yes, I wanted to speak about this because it hits home because of the capacity of where I work, and I can see how this could happen due to the greed of the hospital, the greed of the corporations that are in charge, certain corporations that are in charge. Again, the river of blood always go back to a corporation, or just follow the money. Because Chelsea Adolphus, she was 28 years old. She went to the hospital, they said around 4 a.m. and that was Wednesday morning because she was having a medical issue. So she was found on the roof at 8:45 a.m. So for 4 hours, and she only had a nightgown on. The hospital gowns that they give you, they said that her body temperature was 55 degrees. She was pronounced dead 14 hours later at 11:03 p.m. And a coroner's office that determined she was missing from her room for around 6 hours. Okay, so that's 6 hours. And for someone to be missing that has been checked into the hospital and receiving treatment, that's very weird. It's not normal to not have a nurse or someone who could have seen people walking through. I just wanted to reiterate what the coroner, Jennifer, stated, that, there has been a lack of care and safety measures at the facility. Yeah, they said, 69 to 70 employees were furloughed, staff members, sitters, those who watch over people, because let's say you're given medicine, you may not know what you do if you are not, if you're medicated. So you can't make the best decisions. And it did say that they had their trauma center revoked by state officials for not having adequate blood supply and clinical staff available for patients. This is something that has been going on for a very long time. This is what happens when you start making the staff small and then putting more and more responsibility on the few people that are left there with any business, any company, because that's what the hospitals are, their businesses. And no matter how they try and tote themselves as helping the poor, helping the needy, giving out medical care, they are for profit. Even those who who say they are not for profit, or non for profit. But this is not shocking to me. It's devastating. It's horrible. And I know her family is in pain, and I hope that they receive the compensation and also the justice that they so deserve. Because this was preventable. If, let's say that she wanted to smoke a cigarette. Let's just say it was that. And she was going to go up on the roof, smoke a cigarette, and didn't know that the door would lock behind her and she couldn't get, I would think as she was gone for so many hours, her screaming and beating on the door, like nobody heard that, nobody walked by. It would be sinister to think that someone would do that. I wouldn't be surprised because she's Black, but that would be horrible and sinister to do to someone. But I can see where there are so many hospitals where nurses have quit because they didn't have they couldn't do it anymore. No matter how much money they were offered, it was just too many people that they had to take care of, and their mental health was slipping. So I can imagine, with all of the issues that this hospital has had before and issues that I'm currently aware of in hospitals with so many patients to one nurse, so many patients that a doctor has to see, and you wonder why there's medical malpractice. They're spread way too thin. And then you have your insurance company rolling in blood money who's making the situation worse. It's like a death trap. It's not anywhere that you want to be or want to go because you could find yourself being harmed. You're going there for something that may not be serious, and you may not ever walk out again. This is horrible. They have some explaining to do. This hospital already lied, saying her body was at a local Family Dollar. Like, this is so sick in so many words. And the hospital, it hasn't said anything. They have reached out to the parent company, which I know about those oh too well. The parent, the daughter companies that are over these hospitals. The things that go on in there, even the Catholic Christian ones, if you get my drift, is absolutely putrid and disgusting. The way they look at the people who work there, the way they overwork, and the way they don't give a flying, you can fill in a blank about anybody. Nobody who works for them, nobody who works at the hospital. They're stealing wages. They are so unorganized because in the chaos, they can just steal from the company themselves. But that's another story for a different time. Chelsea deserves justice. This was preventable. This woman walked in for medical attention. She could have ended up on the roof. You know, like I said, I'm not saying that she smoked or anything. She could have needed a breath of fresh air. She could have been hot, anything. But for no one, the people who usually make their rounds, I could have swore that people were supposed to make their rounds. There was nobody there because they let them go. And they don't let them go because, oh, you know, the hospital is struggling or anything. No, they want to make more profit. So they let these people go so they don't have to pay them. So that money can go to their shareholders. That's it. That's it. It's not breaking even. It's not even making a little bit. They want to reach this goal. The same thing with McDonald's where they kept pushing it up and pushing it up and pushing up. It's the Welsh dream. The guy from GE. Who say, oh, you can make hand over fist profits every single year. And they task people with hitting this goal, this impossible, insane goal. And it doesn't matter who suffers, who dies, how much blood is on their hand, just as long as they can make more money than they made the quarter before. That's why this happened. Somebody did not have adequate staff there because they needed another, lamp on their yacht. That's what it's come to in this nation. This is how it is. I mean, even the hospitals who receive that PPP money, it's so disgusting what they do. You have to be on the inside to really understand how sick it is. Having your priest pray over the financial department and the money of the company and over the company. It disgusted me to the core of me. But like I said, I hope that, they sue this hospital. I hope that they get every penny and plus some. And, I hope they can find some type of peace and closure. And I do hope that they get justice because this is so wrong. This young woman did not have to die. She didn't. If there were people around and adequate staff, this woman would still be breathing today. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think. If you're a nurse, doctor, and you've seen things like this, or you've noticed in the hospital that they do not have adequate staffing, go ahead and leave your story in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.